Good Thursday morning, everybody. Welcome to my Week 16 NFL prediction. So I'm Mason Tepesky, your host here with you. It is our third to last show of the regular season because we only have two more weeks after this. It's this week, Week 17 and Week 18. So season's winding down. Things are getting interesting. Playoff picks are definitely getting interesting, that's for sure. Let me just say we'll know a lot more this week. Once this week ends, we will know a lot more. A lot of teams can clinch this week, so it'll definitely be interesting to see. I don't have all the clinching scenarios off by heart, but I will, if I remember, I will go through them at the end of the video. Here, let me write myself a note so I remember to do that. And also the tie thing. Every week I predict a tie or a game that's most likely to end in a tie. Last week we did almost have a tie with the Texans and the Titans. I don't think I predicted that game. Thank goodness I didn't predict that game because thank goodness there wasn't a tie, though, because that would have been our first tie of the year, and I don't like ties. I don't even know why they're a thing. So, interesting times, that's for sure, across the NFL. This has been such an interesting NFL season. Definitely crazy with all the backup quarterbacks, that's for sure. Seeing how much of an impact coaching has. I've learned more about the game this year than I probably have in any other year, so yeah, that's definitely interesting, that's for sure. One more thing before we get right into it, a quick programming note. Next week, obviously, we will have this show on Thursday because of Thursday Night Football. It's the Jets and the Browns, the last Thursday night game of the season. But then after that, after next week, Week 18 to the rest of the season moving forward, the show will shift to Fridays, meaning there will be no more of this show on Thursdays. It will be only Fridays. Week 18 will be filmed on Friday, January 5th, because all the games will be on Saturday and Sunday that week. The playoffs, every show, wild card for Super Bowl, will be filmed on Fridays. So that'll definitely be interesting. Just wanted to keep you in the know on that. Personally, I think Friday is a better filming day for sure. I was acclimated to it because of the Whitfield stuff, so it's easier to get back into that groove. But that's not till after next week, so we got this one and one more Thursday show, and then that's it for Thursday shows till next year, so yeah. Anyway, let's get right into this show here. It's going to be a longer edition today because it's the Christmas one. Week 16 is definitely a fun slate of games. Last year was a really exciting slate of games. Had some great ones. I remember Eagles, Cowboys, Raiders, Steelers. You had a good Thursday night, or no, it wasn't a good Thursday night game. You had a good game, too, between, who was it? Giants and Vikings. That was good, interesting football. There were some interesting Christmas Day games. Like I just said, the Bucs and the Cardinals. That was a good one last year. And so was the Packers-Dolphins. So there's a lot of good games for sure this week. This is one of my favorite weeks of the NFL season. This, Week 18, there's a couple more, but we're not going to get into them today. But yeah, definitely interesting times. That is for sure. So without further ado, here we go. Let's get right into our NFL probabilities. We're going to go for each team's current record, projected record, chances of making the playoffs, winning the division, winning the conference, winning the Super Bowl. And if you are currently on the outside looking in of the playoff picture, I will go for your chances of a top 5 draft pick. If you are on the inside, like if you have a playoff spot at the moment, I will just say the number 0. So yeah. Here we go. Without further ado, AFC East time. Miami Dolphins, 10-4 at the moment. I project them, though, to go 12-5. 99% playoff chance, 65% division chance, 15% conference chance, 6% Super Bowl chance. Obviously, no top 5 pick chance then. Sorry, I'm looking up my computer. It's this way, so yeah. That's why I'm not looking at the camera my best right now. Buffalo Bills, 8-6 at the moment. 10-7 projected record. 49% playoff chance, 35% division chance, 4% conference chance, 2% Super Bowl chance, 2% chance at a top 5 pick as well, because they're on the outside still. New York Jets, they're eliminated from the playoffs. They're currently 5-9. I project them, though, to go 6-11. They have a 60% chance at a top 5 pick. Also eliminated from the playoffs, the New England Patriots. They're 3-11 at the moment. I project 4-13. 95% chance at a top 5 pick. AFC North, the Ravens. They have clinched a playoff spot. So let me change this. 11-3 at the moment. I'm projecting 12-5, though. 100% playoff chance, 95% division chance, 35% conference chance, 20% Super Bowl chance, no top 5 pick chance. Cleveland Browns to 9-5. I project them to go 11-6. 96% playoff chance, 5% division chance, 7% conference chance, 3% Super Bowl chance, no top 5 pick chance. The pick doesn't even belong to the Browns. It's going to go to Houston as a result of the Deshaun Watson trade. Sorry about that. Bengals 8-6 at the moment. I project them to go 11-6. 56% playoff chance, 0% division chance, 2% conference chance, 1% Super Bowl chance, no top 5 pick chance though. Steelers 7-7 at the moment. I project them to go 8-9. 11% playoff chance, 0% division chance, 1% conference chance, 1% Super Bowl chance, and a 9% top 5 pick chance. Moving down the line to the AFC South now, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars. I project them to go 8-6, 10-7. Projected record, 53% playoff chance, 45% division chance, 10% conference chance, 4% Super Bowl chance, no top 5 pick chance. Colts 8-6 at the moment. I project you guys though to go 9-8, 47% playoff chance, 25% division chance, 1% conference chance, 1% Super Bowl chance, 0% chance at a top 5 pick. Texans of Houston 8-6 at the moment, 10-7 projected record, 52% playoff chance, 30% division chance, 2% conference chance, 1% Super Bowl chance, 6% top 5 pick chance, but that pick will go to Arizona as a result of the Will Anderson Jr. trade. Titans, they're eliminated from the playoffs. They're 5-9. I project them to go 7-10. They have a 45% chance at a top 5 pick. AFC West now, Kansas City, they're 9-5. I project them to go 11-6. 99% playoff chance, 95% division chance, 20% conference chance, 8% Super Bowl chance, 0% top 5 pick chance then. Denver, they're 7-7 right now. I project them to go 9-8, 34% playoff chance, 4% division chance, 1% conference chance, 1% Super Bowl chance, 8% chance at a top 5 pick. Vegas Raiders, they're 6-8 at the moment, 8-9 projected, 1% playoff chance, 1% division chance, 1% conference chance, 1% Super Bowl chance, 34% chance at a top 5 pick. LA Chargers, they're 5-9 at the moment. I project them to go 5-12, 1% playoff chance, 0% division chance, 1% conference chance, 1% Super Bowl chance, and a 67% chance of top 5 pick. Down the line to the NFC East now. We got the Dallas Cowboys. They're 10-4 at the moment. I project them to go 11-6. 99% playoff chance, 50% division chance, 20% conference chance, 7% Super Bowl chance, no top 5 pick chance. Eagles of Philadelphia, I project you guys to go 10-4. 12-5 projected though, 99% playoff chance, 50% division chance, 9% conference chance, 4% Super Bowl chance, no top 5 pick chance. Giants of New York, 5-9 at the moment. I project you guys though to go 6-11. 3% playoff chance, no percent division chance, 0% division chance, 1% conference, and 1% Super Bowl chances. 51% chance at a top 5 pick this year. Washington Commanders eliminated from the playoffs. 4-10 projected, I think, or 4-10 at the moment. I think you guys will go 5-12 though. And you guys have a 92% chance of a top 5 pick this year. Nice. NFC North season now. We're going to talk about the Detroit Lions. 10-4 at the moment. I project you guys to go 11-6 though. 99% playoff chance, 95% division chance, 7% conference chance, 3% division chance, or 3% Super Bowl chance, 0% chance at a top 5 pick. Minnesota Vikings. Hang on a minute. Let me adjust something real quick. I'm sorry. Minnesota Vikings, 7-7 at the moment. I project you guys though to go 9-8. 87% playoff chance, 4% division chance, 1% conference chance, 1% Super Bowl chance, 0% top 5 pick chance. Green Bay Packers, 6-8. 8-9, I project you guys to go. 19% playoff chance, 0% division chance, 1% conference chance, 1% Super Bowl chance, and a 17% chance at a top 5 pick. Chicago Bears, 5-9 at the moment. I project you guys to go 7-10. Pretty solid, considering how they started. 1% playoff chance, 0% division chance, 1% conference chance, 1% Super Bowl chance, 70% chance at a top 5 pick. NFC, and that's their own pick. That's their own pick, by the way. That number should probably be lower, though, to be honest. Not going to lie. NFC South now, we got Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're 7-7. I project them to go 7-10. 65% playoff chance, 65% division chance, 4% conference chance, 2% Super Bowl chance, 0% top 5 pick chance. New Orleans Saints, they're 7-7 right now. I project them to go 8-9. 40% playoff chance, 25% division chance, 1% conference chance, 1% Super Bowl chance, and an 11% top 5 pick chance. Atlanta Falcons, they're 6-8 right now. I project them to go 7-10. 19% playoff chance, 10% division chance, 1% conference chance, 1% Super Bowl chance, and a 34% chance at a top 5 pick. And the Carolina Panthers, 2-12 at the moment. I project them to go 4-14. They're already eliminated from the playoffs, but they do have a 99% chance at a top 5 pick. Unfortunately, that pick is going to Chicago as a result of the Bryce Young trade last year. NFC West, now we got San Francisco, 11-3. They've clinched their division and the playoff spot, obviously, already, so that's interesting for them. 14-3, I project them at. 100% playoff odds, 100% division odds, 52% chance to win the NFC and advance to the Super Bowl, and a 26% chance to win the Super Bowl. Obviously, no top 5 pick is headed to the Bay Area this year. LA Rams, 7-7 right now. I project you guys to go 9-8. 54% playoff chance, 0% division chance, 1% conference chance, 1% Super Bowl chance, 2% chance at a top 5 pick. Seattle Seahawks, they are 7-7 at the moment. I project them to go 8-9. 50% playoff chance, 0% division chance, 1% conference chance, 1% Super Bowl chance, 6% chance at a top 5 pick. Cardinals, they're eliminated from the playoffs as they're currently 3-11. I project them to go 4-13. They do have a 95% chance though at a top 5 pick. Definitely good things coming for them if they handle their future the right way. The GM and the coach, they're going to do a great job, I think. So now we progress here to our games this week. Definitely an exciting and interesting slate of games this week. Every team is in action every week for the rest of the year, but this one is really good. We got games all weekend long. Starting tonight with the Saints and the Rams, which we'll predict in just a matter of seconds here. We'll do that game. And also, too, Saturday, we got the Bengals and the Steelers. You'll get that prediction on my Steeler Game Day pregame, so Saturday afternoon. And then you will also get the Bills and the Chargers in the night on the NFL exclusive game on Peacock. It's kind of unfortunate, though, that they're going to do a playoff game on there exclusively because you're not going to be able to watch it. So that forever sucks if you don't have Peacock and all that. But I guess I like streaming personally, although I don't do it a whole lot. I like it. I like the idea of it, but it's hard for people that don't have it. I totally understand. So yeah, that's that. And then Sunday we got Christmas Eve, got the full slate of games. It's going to be an exciting slate of games for sure, Christmas Eve. And then Monday, one of my favorite day of the year, Christmas Day, we got the triple header going on. That's going to be fun, and that will certainly be an interesting one. That is for sure. Anyway, though, another big part of this weekend, obviously, is fantasy football. As you can see, I'm writing while I'm talking to you because I got to get my fantasy football seat ready for you guys. That's important. This week, I'm going to go through my starts and sits of the week. A lot of you guys are in your second week of playoffs for the first matchup or your semifinal matchups, inching closer towards the championship rounds. Fantasy football is definitely it's winding down, but it's also heating up. I'm here to provide you guys the best advice as some of you guys are in your last weeks and are inching super close to the championship. Like I said, in my main league, I'm out of the playoffs. However, in my secondary league, I have a nice 45-point lead on my opponent. So as long as they don't have a big week and go off, I think I probably most likely will go to the championship. In at least one of my leagues, I have made the championship the past 3 years. I won it 2 out of 3 of those times, so definitely a good person to go to for fantasy advice, but sometimes I do get unlucky, like all you guys, so yeah. Anyway, though, let's truly and honestly dive into this. Here. Sorry to cough real quick first, but let's get into this. Saints and the Rams. This will definitely be an interesting one tonight. Crucial game for NFC playoff positioning, that is for sure. If the Saints win this game, they will be in pretty good shape, I think, in terms of the NFC South. Because Tampa does play Jacksonville this week. That will be a close game. It'll definitely be interesting. I think that the Rams, they're the hotter team right now. They're playing well. They're at home. They definitely have the edge. They have the experience. I think Sean McVay rallies his team, and I think the Rams will get the job done tonight in this one. Give me LA 27-20. Rams, I have you guys at a 54% win probability. Saints, I have you at a 45% win probability. Now let's get to my starts and sits of this one. A really good start for this one, I think, is Chris Olave. I think Olave will find a way to make things work, and I think he is going to get open and play a lot tonight. Let me just check. I need to make sure he's playing, confirm he's playing, because the past couple weeks I've told you some names of some people who aren't playing, who didn't play, unfortunately. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, he's healthy. Chris Olave's healthy. He's a must start this week, in my opinion. Another must start, I think Tyler Higbee does better tonight. I mean, I don't think he goes off by any means, but I think he does better than his average. So I would definitely start Tyler Higbee tonight, that's for sure. And obviously, I think Cooper Kupp, he's heating up, and I think he's a must start this week. Sits of the week, I would definitely consider sitting Alvin Kamara. This Rams run defense will definitely play tough. They know Kamara. McVay knows Kamara, so I think they're going to handle him well. Sit Alvin Kamara tonight. Another sit. This time for the Rams, I expect Puka Nacua not to have his best of nights, so I would sit Puka. And I would also probably, really, I don't think the Saints defense is the best of starts either, so I'd sit the Saints defense this week. My notes from this game are real simple. I think Olave is the guy. I think he's going to have a good night tonight. Expect a nice night for him for sure if you have him. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, we're not going to do the score predictions or the probability, obviously, because we'll do that Saturday on my Steelers game day pregame show, but I will do your fantasy starts and sets. A good start tonight for this week, I think, especially with Jamar Chase out, is T. Higgins. He's been heating up as of late. I think Higgins will be a very, very good start this week. Another good start this week, I think, is Joe Mixon. I think Joe Mixon is going to go off this week and is really going to expose this Steelers run defense because they have not been their best. Start Joe Mixon. And also start Deontay Johnson for Pittsburgh with all the drama and stuff surrounding George Pickens. I definitely think that Johnson's in start for a bigger game. Sits for the week. I would not expect anything special out of Tyler Boyd. I know he's been doing good as of late. I wouldn't expect anything big out of him, so sit Tyler Boyd. Also sit George Pickens, obviously. They're not going to throw to him at all, I think. He's going to be really covered well, and he's going to be a crybaby like he usually is, but sit George Pickens this week. And another sit I would have is tight end Pat Freiermuth. I don't think he's going to have his best week. I think Cincinnati handles him much better than they did last game. My notes for this one are Mixon and Higgins in line for big days, because if the Steelers let Trace Sermon run all over them, then Joe Mixon is not going to be any easier to stop. And I think Higgins has a nice day for sure. He's a must-start, T. Higgins. On to this one, Buffalo and the Chargers. Yeah, this is not going to be a competitive game. Originally, I thought it would be, but it's going to be a rather boring game. Thank goodness they put this game on Peacock, so not the whole world can see it, just those select few streamers as the camera gets tilted here a little bit. So yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting, that is for sure. In the end, though, I expect the Bills to win big. Give me the Bills 27, Chargers 14. Buffalo, I have you guys at a 9% win probability. Chargers, I have you guys at 10% win probability. Starts for this week. Definitely start James Cook. I think he handles this defense well. I would also start Stephon Diggs. I think he'll be a nice start this week. I think he bounces back after a rough week last week. So keep starting Diggs. He's in store for a big one. And also a good start this week would be Austin Eckler. I think they run the ball more and he bounces back. That is for sure. Sits for this one. I would not necessarily want to start Dalton Kincaid. Tight ends typically don't do well, it seems like, against the Chargers. So I would sit Kincaid. I'm sitting all Chargers receivers. And I'm also sitting Gabe Davis. As a fire siren goes off, so hopefully it's okay there. I would say my notes are Diggs bounces back. I think you're going to get a nice bounce back week from Diggs this week for sure. Next up, time marches on, so we got to get moving here. We're on to the Christmas Eve slate of games now. This is one of the best football days of the year. Last year proved that. Always loving when they come back-to-back years. Last year was on a Saturday. There were all these games. This year it's a Sunday. There was all these games. And then you still got free games the next day, Christmas Day. That is always a fun one, that's for sure. Can't wait for Sunday. Going to be a lot of great games. This game here we're going to talk about now is one of the games I've been looking forward to since this summer. I've been looking forward to this game for quite a while. It's the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. Their first game of the year. Can't wait to watch this one. They played twice in the last 3 weeks this week, and then their Week 18 finale is at Ford Field in Detroit. Those will definitely be 2 fun games. This is the winter whiteout. They did this last year, Christmas Eve. That was an epic game, that's for sure. I cannot wait for this year's edition of it. This is going to be such an awesome game. I'm already getting excited just talking about it. I don't think my Lions will get the job done, though. I think they're going to come just short in this one. Give me Minnesota in an upset, 27-24. Minnesota, I got you guys at a 51% chance of winning. Detroit, I got you guys at a 48% chance of winning. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. Starts for this one. I would definitely start Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think he's in store for a big week. I think he rips up this Vikings secondary and truly exposes them. Start Amon-Ra St. Brown. Another must start, obviously, is the rookie Sam Laporta. Laporta goes off this week, and I think he's very impressive. This is somebody who you have not heard on my starters list a whole lot this year because he's been hurt. But I think he bounces back and comes through for the Vikings when they need him the most again. Justin Jefferson. Jettas will get the job done, and he will be a huge part in the Vikings' victory, I think. Sits for the week. Sit Jared Goff. He typically does not do very good on the road, so sit Jared Goff this week. Sit Jahmyr Gibbs. I wouldn't expect anything special from Gibbs this week. Sit him. And I'd also sit tight end TJ Hawkinson in a surprise. I don't think they go to Hawkinson a lot in this one. I really don't. I would sit Hawkinson this week in a soccer. I don't think they do. My notes for this one would be this. Jefferson is in store for a huge game. This is going to be one of the most exciting games of the year, I think. Like I said, I cannot wait. Who's excited for Detroit and Minnesota? Who is excited for that game? I know I am, so put a thumbs up in the comments if you are too. Can't stand this camera, how it's acting. All right, that's better. That's better. Anyway, though, now, on to the Colts and the Falcons. This will be a good one for sure. I originally liked the Falcons in this one. However, the way they're playing and stuff, I cannot pick the Falcons to win this game. I am going with the Indianapolis Colts. Give me the Colts in this one by a final score of 28-24. Indianapolis, you got a 54% chance of winning. Atlanta, you got a 45% chance of winning. So, that will definitely be good, that's for sure. Starts and sits for this one. Let me check something first. Hang on a minute, guys. Jonathan Taylor. I think he's a must start in this one. Sorry, I just want to make sure he's playing first. Jonathan Taylor. I think that's a must start in this one. He is in store for a huge, huge game. That's for sure. So start Jonathan Taylor. Another good start for this one. I like Drake London's potential. That's for sure. I would expect a better day out of Drake London. I like his potential. That's for sure. So, yeah. Start Drake London. And another good start for this game. Back to the Colts side of things. I don't think Pittman Jr. is playing this week, unfortunately. I know I said he would be a league winner, but I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately, because of that concussion. So let's look and see who's the next man up for the Colts, because I think that would be a good start. Josh Downs. I think Josh Downs gets more volume this week. He's definitely, I think, really good start. So start Josh Downs. Sits for the week. I don't really like Bijan Robinson this week. I don't think he's going to have his best of weeks, so sit Bijan Robinson. Kyle Pitts, definitely a sitter. Sit Pitts. And sit the Falcons defense, because I know a lot of you guys have been starting them as of late and have done well, but this is not a week they're going to do well. Sit them. Sorry, it's all Falcons there. I just couldn't come up with any Colts. Notes, Taylor will do better. I think Jonathan Taylor is going to have a nice day this week. I really do. Seahawks and the Titans. This is an interesting game, that's for sure. Titans typically beat Seattle in Tennessee. I feel like that streak will definitely continue. I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks in this one. Or, no, I'm not. take that back. I'm sorry. I'm taking the Tennessee Titans in this one. Give me the Titans by a final score of 20-14. Tennessee, I have you guys to a 53% chance of winning this contest. And I have the Seahawks at a 46% chance. On to fantasy now. Let's look at some good starts. Seattle, I like Kenneth. I think he's playing this week. Kenneth Walker is questionable, but I like either him or Sabernet. Whichever one is the starter, I would definitely roll with this week in fantasy. Kenneth Walker or Zach Sabernet. Go with one of those two. Whoever's the starter, I think they're in line for a nice week. Another good week coming for DK Metcalf. I think this is his bounce back game, and I think he responds well. Start Metcalf. And this is going to be a weird one here, because I haven't gone to him much this year. I like the Titans tight end this week. I really do. I think he's going to be a good start this week. I just need to get his name sound right. Chigozie Okwonu, it looks like. So I think he's going to be a good start this week, so start him, that's for sure. Sits for this week. I think that a good sit for this week would be Tyler Lockett. I don't think he does better this week. I would sit Lockett. That is for sure. So sit Ty Lockett. Another good sit for the week, I think, comes from the Tennessee Titans, and that's running back Derrick Henry. His comments after the game last week were pretty awful. I don't think they're going to go with him a lot. I think you see more Tyjae Spears this week. So sit the king. It's my recommendation. And another sit for this week, also from the Titans, is D-Hop. I think you're going to see a lot of Okwonu, and I think you're going to see a lot of Tyjae Spears this week, and that will guide them to a narrow win over Seattle and other receivers too. Notes for this one. I expect Okwonu will have a nice week. Or Kwanu, or however you pronounce it. Sorry about that. But I think he's going to have a nice week, that's for sure. All right, on to this next one, Washington and the Jets. It was pretty interesting for sure. Aaron Rodgers is off the IR. He has a 21-day practice window just so he could join the team and replay and stuff, or repractice and stuff. However, he's not going to come back this year, and I don't blame him. He should not come back this year. Jets are clearly out of the playoff picture right now. It's more risk than reward to bring him back at this point. What's the purpose of it? They're out of the playoff picture. They're playing for nothing, and he's still 3 to 4 weeks away from being completely better. It was an incredible attempt. I give all the credit in the world to him, but it's not right this year. So, yeah, that's my opinion on it. We'll see him next year, though, and he'll be back better than ever, I think. Washington and the Jets, though, I don't think the Jets will have their best of days. However, they play the Commanders, so I think they're going to do enough to win this game. Give me the Jets in this one by a final score of 16-10. Jets, I have you guys at a 51% chance of winning. Commanders, I have you guys at a 48% chance of winning. Starts and sits in this contest. My starts for the week, I think you're going to see a better game from... Hang on, just let me check and make sure he's playing first. Either Brian Robinson, he's still questionable, so I'm going to say either Brian Robinson Jr. or Antonio Gibson. I think whichever one goes, I'm going to see a much better day out of, that's for sure. My other start for this one, I think Breece Hall will be a nice start. I think you're going to see a lot of ground game in this one, that's for sure. So start Breece Hall. And my final start would be both defenses. There's going to be a lot of turnovers. I think it's going to be a sloppy game for both these teams. So I would definitely start both defenses. So again, the Commanders starting running back, I'd start him. Breece Hall, I would start him. And both defenses, start them both. Sits for the week. I would sit all passers. I'd sit Terry McLaurin. I would sit Sam Howell. And I would sit Garrett Wilson. Those are my sits for the week. Notes for this game are as follows. A lot of running and lots of defense. Packers and the Panthers. I mean, this one's going to be closer than most people think, I feel like. However, I still believe the Packers come back, get the job done, and stay in the playoff race another week. Give me Packers in this one. 27, Panthers 23. Green Bay, I got you guys at a 78% chance of winning. Carolina, I got you guys at a 21% chance of winning this one. Starts and sits. Green Bay, I expect a good day from... If he's playing, I expect him to do good. And that's Jaden Reed. But he's still labeled as questionable, so I really can't go with him much. Christian Watson is also questionable. I think it's more likely, though, Jaden Reed plays, so... I don't know. I'm just going to put Packers receivers, because I think they do better. Reed... I'll just put Packers receivers, Jaden Reed. If healthy, I think that would be a good start. Still questionable. Another good start. If they're not going to have their receivers in this one, then you have to imagine they're going to run the ball a lot. Both the running backs, too, are questionable for Green Bay. So start Packers. I'll just say Packers running backs. Jones or Dillon. Man, this team is banged up bad. They're really hurt, so... You know what that means? I would make the Panthers defense a must start in this game. If they're going to be down Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, and possibly one or both of their backs, I would start the Panthers defense. I'm starting to think more and more Carolina can actually pull this one off, looking at a lot of these questionables and stuff on the Packers injured report. So start a Packers receiver, start Reed if he's healthy, or start Watson if he comes back and plays. Start either Jones or Dillon, whichever one of those two play, and start the Panthers defense, because it seems like the Packers are down a lot. A sit, though, for this one. After reading that, I would sit Jordan Love. I mean, I don't think he goes off this week. I think he kind of struggles this week a little bit. So, yeah, I don't expect a big week from Jordan Love. I don't expect a big week at all from Adam Thielen. I don't think he's going to be very healthy at all. Or not healthy, I'm sorry, good at all this week. So, yeah, that. And I'd also sit Tucker Kraft. I don't think he's going to do very good either this week. And my notes for this one have nothing to do with fantasy, and it's actually, I'm going to discuss this in a minute. If all these players are injured and stuff, and Carolina's pathetic, Green Bay's not pathetic, but they have a lot of injuries, this is going to be a pathetic, boring game. So, that 27-23 score prediction's probably stupid of me to do. I'm going to look like an idiot when I come back on Tuesday and do this, but I'm starting to think this could be a really low-scoring game now that you think about it. So, yeah. Don't take my advice too much on this one because this is going to be a confusing game. So, I'm sorry about that. Last 1 o'clock game we're on to now, and then we get into the best part of Christmas Eve, the 4 o'clock games, family dinners. Obviously, I know where I'll be, my family dinner. It's going to be amazing. Definitely exciting times, that's for sure, as we move out of the 1 o'clock session for Christmas into the 4 o'clock session. But first, we got one more game to talk about, and that is the Cleveland Browns and the Houston Texans. Definitely a playoff implications game, that's for sure. This will be interesting. This will be close. This one will be a low-scoring game, I believe. In the end, I expect the Browns to go into Houston and get the job done. Give me Cleveland 20-14. Cleveland, I have you guys 59% chance of winning. Houston, I got you guys at a 40% chance of winning this one. Starts, I think Jerome Ford will be a good start this week. I think he finds a way to bounce back. Start Jerome Ford if you have him. Also, another good start this week, I think, is Devin Singletary. I think he has a nice week for sure. Start Singletary. And if... Hang on, just let me check. Yes, he is healthy. Another good start this week because he is healthy is Dalton Schultz. Those are my free must starts for this one. Singletary, Ford, and Schultz. My sits for this one, I would sit Amari Cooper. I think the Texans handle him well and play good against him. Sit Amari Cooper. Sit Njoku. I don't think he's going to have the best of weeks receivers. I would sit Njoku again. I expect this to be a lot of running this week from the Browns. And I would also, if I were Houston, I don't think Nico Collins goes off this week. I would sit Nico Collins as well. I think Schultz and Singletary get the bulk of the volume this week. Notes, Ford will be big. If you have Ford, he's going to be big. A lot of people said he's going to be a league winner. So I think he's going to be good. So start Ford this week. It's my recommendation. On now to the 4 o'clock games. This is where Christmas Eve gets fun. Family dinner. You got the football games on. Definitely fun times, that's for sure. We're going to head south to the Sunshine State for an in-state Florida battle. That is, in fact, the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This will be a great game for playoff implications. Both teams have legitimate chances of winning their divisions. All three Florida teams could possibly win their divisions for sure. We'll know more on Sunday night about the NFC South division. Or the AFC South division, those three teams, Colts, Texans, and Jaguars, all pretty much running even. So that's going to be interesting, that's for sure. We'll know more Sunday night, like I just said. But I think this will be a good game, that's for sure. I think there's going to be more offense than most people expect. I think this will be a fun game for sure if you're an offensive lover. In the end, I expect the Jaguars to finally bounce back and get the job done this week. I like the Jaguars in this one. Give me Jacksonville. Final score, Jacksonville 28, Tampa Bay 27. So as you can see, it's definitely a close game for sure here. As I take my notes, as I get ready to write my notes and stuff for fantasy. But you're definitely going to see an interesting game. That is for sure. Jacksonville, I have you guys at a 54% win probability. Tampa Bay, I have you guys at a 45% win probability. I still think, despite their struggles as of late, Jacksonville finds a way to get the job done this week. Hang on, I'm just finishing writing something. Jacksonville, my starts for this one. I think Travis Etienne comes back. He has a productive week this week. I like Etienne a lot. Tampa Bay, I'm riding the Baker Mayfield train. Had a big week last week. I really like his potential this week. Start quarterback Baker Mayfield this week. And I also like Chris Godwin a lot this week. I think he's going to have a good week. He's going to go off, so start Chris Godwin. Sits in this one. I would sit Calvin Ridley. I don't think Calvin Ridley is a big week. I think you see a lot of running and throwing to Evan Ingram. You don't see Ridley a lot this week. Sit Mike Evans. I don't think Mike Evans is a good week this week. Sit him. And also, if you have them, sit the Buccaneers defense. And special teams. My notes for this one are Godwin will be used. I expect a big week out of Chris Godwin, like a huge week out of him. So, that's nice. Now on to our next one, Arizona and Chicago. This game means very little except for draft order, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this one. I do like the Bears to win this one, although I think it will be close. Give me Chicago 24, Cardinals 21. Chicago, I like you guys with a 60% win probability. Arizona, I have you guys at a 39% win probability. My starts for this one, I expect a better day out of running back James Conner. Just need to confirm he's healthy. Yeah, he is. James Conner, expect a better day out of him. That's for sure. McBride, I think he'll continue his success. I think McBride will be a nice start this week. And another good start. I think I'm going to go with the Bears running back here for once. I just want to see who's the starting running back for them. Hang on. They have so many running backs. It's ridiculous. I definitely think they need to draft one. These running backs coming out of the draft this year are very good. I think Chicago is definitely a team that needs to, at the very least, consider drafting a running back. Donta Foreman. Donta Foreman, I expect him to have a good week. He's definitely a good start this week, so expect big things out of Donta Foreman. That's for sure. Sits for the week. I'm actually going to pick a weird one here. I'm going to sit Kyler Murray. I don't think he has his best of week. Sit Kyler, I think. Another key sit in this matchup. I would sit Justin Fields. I told you, I expect a lot of running the ball, especially with Donta Foreman. So, sit Fields. I don't think he has the best of weeks either. It's going to be windy. It's going to be cold. It's going to be Chicago. It's going to be 4:30. I don't expect a lot of Justin Fields. So, sit Murray and sit Fields for sure. And he's so inconsistent as well. And I'd also sit DJ Moore. I don't expect a whole lot out of DJ Moore. I think this game's going to be a lot of running, like I just said. So, sit DJ Moore. My notes are Donta Foreman is the sleeper of the week. He is definitely the sleeper of the week. This team definitely needs to draft a running back, though. But I think Donta Foreman is the sleeper of the week. For sure. Now onto this one. This is probably one of the best games, if not the best game on the Christmas Eve slate. Dallas and Miami, 4:25 p.m. I don't know what to make of this one. Both teams have great offenses and both teams have great defenses. So will this be a big offensive game or will this be a big defensive game? I'm going with the former. I think this is going to be a big offensive game. Definitely, that's for sure. I like the offense in this one, but I like Miami even more. I think Dolphins get over this. I think that they finally get a big win against a quality team, an above 500 team, and I think they do it nicely. Give me Dolphins 34-31. Dolphins, I have you guys at a 51% win probability. Cowboys, 48% win probability. One of the games of the week for sure. My starts for Dallas. Dak Prescott. I think he's going to have a nice week. That's for sure. Expect a lot out of Dak. CeeDee Lamb. Definitely a good start. That's for sure. And my last one, and I'm going to do 4 this one. I sometimes do 4. I'm going to do 4 for sure this one. Devon Akane, I think he has a big week, that's for sure. Start Akane. And also start Jalen Waddle. Start Jalen Waddle, I think. He will have another productive week. Sits for this one. Sit Tony Pollard. I don't expect Tony Pollard to have the best of weeks either. Sit Tony Pollard. I would also sit this week Raheem Mostert. I don't think Mostert has the best of weeks this week. Especially with Akane back. Tyreek Hill, if he plays, he's a sit. You know why he's a sit? He's not fully healthy, and he's not going to be the same Tyreek Hill we all know. Sit Tyreek Hill. I don't think he has the best of weeks. And sit both defenses. They're going to do bad this week. So sit both defenses 1,000,000%. My notes. Offense, offense, offense. Don't go defense, defense, defense. This is going to be an offensive showdown. Expect a lot of offense, and this is going to be what the NFL wants. That's for sure. We're going to go to an all-offensive game now. We're going to take it to an all-defensive game now for NFL Network's Holiday Showdown. One of the games I'm most looking forward to this week, that is for sure. It's the night game on Christmas Eve. I always love that game. Last year, the Steelers walked off the Raiders in dramatic fashion in that game. I'm even looking forward to this one big time too. It's the Patriots and the Broncos. Even though they're both terrible, I expect this game to be a good one, and I expect the Broncos to win a defensive showdown. Give me Denver 16-13. Denver, I have you guys at a 93% win probability. Patriots, I have you at a 6% win probability. Starts. Obviously, we're starting both defenses. They're both on a roll. Start both defenses. That is for sure. Start them both. I expect a nice week, too, out of Zeke. I think Zeke Elliott has a nice week again. Start Zeke. I think he's the starter, right? Oh, no. Is Stevenson back? It looks like Stevenson might be back, so then start Ramondre. Start either Zeke or Ramondre, whoever starts that game. Start them. And I think you're going to see a better week this week out of Courtland Sutton. I think he bounces back and does better than average, so start Courtland Sutton. Sit. I don't expect anything out of Demario Douglas. I don't think he is the best of days. Sit Demario Douglas. I would also sit Broncos tight end Adam Troutman. I expect the Patriots to handle the tight end well like they typically do. Sit Troutman. My gosh. And another sit for this one. I don't expect much either out of Javonte Williams. I think the Patriots will dominate him. Sit Javonte Williams. My notes for this game are just expect a lot of defense. Defense. It's going to be a good old-fashioned rivalry, though, so definitely looking forward to this game. That is for sure. So, yeah, there you have it. On to Christmas Day, the best day of the year by far. We're going to have a great football slate on Christmas Day. Always love these games on Christmas. How can you not love Christmas football? We're going to have 3 amazing games. We're going to see both the teams from last year's Super Bowl 57, play on Christmas. And then we're going to get a very, very, very good night game. So the NFL did an amazing job scheduling that night game. Last year's Christmas slate was awful. It was the Packers and the Dolphins. That wasn't bad. Then you got the Broncos and the Rams. That was horrible, to say the least. And then to cap it off, we had Buccaneers Cardinals, which that wasn't terrible, but it certainly wasn't great either. This year, I think it is much better. Every game this week, it feels like has some form of meaning to it. So that's really good, for sure. Much better slate. And we're going to start the Christmas Day slate in Kansas City, where the Kansas City Chiefs will host the Las Vegas Raiders on Nickelodeon's Christmas special. Nickmas is what they call it. It's the NFL's Christmas special on Nickelodeon. That's definitely going to be a fun one for sure. Tune into that game. That is certain. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be interesting. However, in the end, I expect the Chiefs to win pretty substantially. Give me Kansas City by a final score of 38-17. Kansas City, I have you guys at 93% win probability. Vegas, I have you at a 6% win probability. Starts for this one, I would definitely start Josh Jacobs. Is he playing? I think so. Or who's the... Jacobs or whoever the backup is. There's so many injuries in the NFL this year. It's sad, to be honest. Josh Jacobs, or if he doesn't get the nod, start Amir Abdullah. So, no. Start one of those two, that's for sure. I think Kelsey is a great week this week. I think this is one of his biggest, if not his biggest week of the year. Start Travis Kelsey, that is for sure. Taylor Swift will almost certainly be there. It's Christmas Day. I expect a big day out of Kelsey. Also, a big day. I think the run game comes in and dominates this week as well. I think Pacheco or Edwards-Helaire will be a nice start this week. Pacheco or Edwards. Sit. I don't expect anything much out of Rasheed Rice. I think he is a slowdown week this week. He's been hot as of late. I think that slows down. Sit Rice. Never sit Michael Mayer. I don't expect much out of him this week. Sit Michael Mayer. That's for sure. And a never sit. I mean, I feel like this one's quite obvious, but can't think of anyone else on KC to sit, or the Raiders even. So I would sit the Raiders defense. I know that one feels quite obvious for sure, but yeah. Devontae Adams is neutral. I mean, he could go off. He might not go off. I'm not going to say either for him because I don't know. Start notes. Kelsey in line for a huge day. I'd expect a big Christmas from Kelsey. So, first Christmas with Taylor Swift. Definitely expect great things out of him on Christmas Day. On to the 4 o'clock Christmas Day game now. We got the Giants and the Eagles. Definitely going to be an interesting, close one. That is for sure. In the end, though, I think the Eagles will look better. I think they're going to gain their confidence back this week, and I think they're going to defeat the New York Giants. Give me Philly. Final score, Eagles 31, Giants 21. Philly, I have you guys at a 7% chance of winning. Giants, I have you guys at a 12% chance of winning this football game. Starts for this one. I expect Saquon Barkley to bounce back this week, so definitely I think you're going to get a nice start and a big week for sure out of Saquon Barkley. So expect a lot out of him, that's for sure. Another good start. I think Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown are both very good starts. I think Hurts bounces back. I think A.J. Brown does even better. I think he's a must start this week. A.J. Brown. Sit. I'd sit Devonta Smith. I don't think he's going to have the best of weeks this week. Sit Devonta Smith. I would also sit all Giants receivers. I don't think they do very good this week, so sit all Giants receivers. And really, there's no one else for me to think of that would be a must-sit in this game, so... Oh, I would not start DeAndre Swift. I would not start DeAndre Swift. I think the Giants will be the team that owns the rust. Don't start DeAndre Swift. My notes for this one, Hurts and Brown in line for huge days. So that's all I have to say about this one here as we approach the 1 hour mark. Definitely an interesting video, that's for sure. Now, this is the game of the week. We're going to talk about this one a lot. Monday Night Football, Christmas Day to conclude the slate. Possible Super Bowl preview. Ravens, Niners. This will be one of the games of the year, I think, early on. But in the second half, I think San Francisco shows they're the better team. I think they come back, they play a strong game, and in the end, they get the job done. San Francisco 27, Ravens 10. San Fran, I have you guys at a 55% chance of winning. Baltimore, I have you guys at a 44% chance of winning. Starts for this one. I would start Gus Edwards. I think he continues his rule of hot games. Start Gus Edwards. I think he plays. Yeah, I think so. Gus Edwards, that's for sure. Well, James Cook's a questionable, so go back to that one, the Saturday night one. I just noticed that Cook or backup. I just noticed James Cook's questionable that Saturday, so go back and just write in backup. But back to Baltimore and San Fran. Gus Edwards is a good start. CMC, he's a good start. And I think Ayuk has a nice week this week. I think Ayuk's a must start this week. Definitely start Ayuk if you have him. So those are my free starts of the week. My sits. I don't think Zay Flowers has the best of weeks. I really don't. Sit Zay Flowers. I don't expect anything big out of Zay. So sit Zay Flowers. That is certain. And never sit. I would sit George Kittle. I don't expect a good week out of Kittle this week. I think the Ravens do well with him. I'd sit Kittle. And I would also sit the Ravens defense and special teams. So those are free guys. I would certainly sit this week, that's for sure. Sorry I'm moving so quick. It's just I'm in the rust now to do something else, but I have something else going on today I have to be at, so sit those free guys. So this will definitely be a good game for sure. This is definitely going to be a good week this week. Ayuk will be huge. Now I'm going to go over all the games. I'm going to give you my best starts of the week, guys that I think will definitely produce the best starts of the week that could help you win your matchup and possibly put yourself in the championship in the coming week. So that's good. That's for sure. Must starts. Like I said earlier, we're going to go New Orleans and LA, all the way to Baltimore and San Francisco at the end. Olave, I think, is a good start tonight. Higgins and Mixon are must starts. I like Diggs this week. I like Amon-Ra. I really like Justin Jefferson this week. I like Shugazim Akwankulu, however you pronounce it, from the Titans. I like him. I like Jerome Ford. I think he's good. I like Dalton Schultz. I think he'll be a good start. Really like Chris Godwin. I think he's a must start. Donta Foreman. I think he's a good start. Really like him from Chicago. Waddle and Lamb. I like them both. They're good big starts. The Patriots running backs. I think they're good starts. I would like them. I like Kelsey a lot. I think he's going to be a great start. Start Kelsey. I would start Hurts. I'd start Brown, and I'd start Barkley. Those are all three must starts, I think. And I also like Ayuk. I think Ayuk's going to be a really good start. CMC is probably a good start too. So those are my must starts of the week. The game this week I think is most likely to end in a tie is Packers-Panthers. This is going to be an ugly game, I think, and I definitely could see this one ending in a tie. That's for sure. That's my most likely to end in a tie pick out of all the games this week. Moving on down the line here. We're going to discuss clinching scenarios, and then I'm going to call it a video just over an hour, it looks like. Here are the clinching playoff scenarios for this week. Baltimore Ravens, they'll clinch the AFC North Division title with a win and a Cleveland loss, or a tie and a Cleveland loss. Cleveland, there are several ways they can clinch a playoff berth this week. They'd have to win. Cincy would have to lose. Denver would have to lose. Buffalo would have to lose. Miami would have to win. Indy would have to lose. Or there's like several others. I'm not going to go through them all. The most likely one I think is this one right here. If they win, Pittsburgh loses. Buffalo or Denver, it looks like have to lose in any scenario. I think that's highly unlikely that either one of them loses. So, yeah, I think that's unlikely. Kansas City clinches the playoff berth in the AFC West with a win or a tie and a Denver loss. Dolphins, they would clinch the AFC East with a win and a Buffalo loss, or a tie and a Buffalo loss. I think that's unlikely too. Miami clinches a playoff berth with a win or a tie and a Jacksonville loss, or a tie and an Indy loss, Houston loss, or I'm not going to go through them all, but I think they clinch the playoff berth with a win. I think they get the job done, like I said, and yeah. NFC, a clinch. San Francisco has clinched the NFC West. Dallas has clinched the playoff berth. Philly has clinched the playoff berth. Detroit, they'll clinch the AFC North this week if they win in Minnesota. They'll clinch a playoff berth with an LA loss or a Seattle loss. Or if either of those tie, I don't think so. San Francisco, they will clinch the number one. This is the last one. San Francisco, they'll clinch the number one seed in the NFC, the lone first-round bye, and home field advantage all the way throughout the playoffs with a win, a Philly loss, a Dallas loss, and a Detroit loss. I definitely think that one's possible, so keep an eye out on that one, that's for sure. That's your clinching scenarios for the week. However, before I leave, I just want to say one thing here. It's actually really serious. So, while I was filming, as you guys all know, I get notifications. And one of the notifications that came on when I was in the middle of filming, I wanted to save it to the end because I wanted to have an actual serious discussion on this, was the fact that at least 10 people were killed and dozens were injured in a shooting at Prague University in Czech. I just want to say that we need to start respecting human life more. Human life is a gift from God, and it's time we need to put violence aside. I know I don't like to talk about politics or like controversial issues on this show, and I tend not to. However, I don't want to stay silent here. It really hurts. I'm sick and tired of these mass shootings, as we all should be. And we truly need to do something about it, and I think that starts with just respecting human life more and turning to God. I really do. I think that's where you need to start, and I think that's a good starting place. Again, I'm not trying to push personal or political views on you. I just want to say that I've had it, and I think we need to start respecting human life more. That's all I want to say. Life is precious. It's a gift from God. And we need to treat each other with love and respect like they're our own. I know there's going to be people in life we dislike, and I totally understand it. There's people in my life I dislike and I can't stand. However, I respect them, and I treat them well when I see them. We all can talk behind our backs about people we don't like, and that's perfectly normal. However, you need to respect people and respect who we all are. That's all I want to say about that. And while I was also filming, our local news sent me a notification about a man who was killed that owned a business in our county. It needs to stop. Violence and killing people is never the answer. Working things out, communicating our differences, and asking for peace and forgiveness is the number one answer. Violence is never the number one answer. So we need to stop killing people, and we need to start creating peace. That's all I have to say about that. That's all I want to say about that. I'm sorry this video took so long. We're over an hour now. I'm going to call it a day. Have a good one, everybody. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you all. I hope you enjoy your holiday. Spend time with your family, that's for sure. Have a good one. Pray for Israel. Pray for peace. Merry Christmas. And as always, from me to you, peace. See you guys next week.